Hello and welcome to Regen E Racing Podcast. I'm your host Deano, and joining me once again, Chris Soulsby. How you doing, Chris?
Hello. How are you? I'm good, thank you. Feeling much better after my short, sporadic cold and ready to record. So yes.
You sound a lot better. You sound so much better.
Thank you. It's my audio setup today.
Yes, it has been a struggle.
It has been, yes, isn't it? It hasn't been easy.
But that's okay. It's the old Mac Windows settings switcheroo that we couldn't get past, but we have managed to record, so that is the main thing for this episode.
The show must go on, that's what they say.
The show must go on. And also, thank you once again to Beth Lilly from the ERA Championship. We talked about that last episode as a bonus, and yeah, I will put that in the show notes. It was a great talk. We learnt a lot about the ERA and the different race weekends that they're going to have, and all of that. So, thank you, Beth. It was an awesome chat, and hopefully we can catch up more on the ERA shortly.
Yeah, it was good. Very, very enjoyable.
Now, Media of the Week. I have a very interesting Media of the Week, something a little bit out there. I play a few puzzle games, and this one is called Evergarden. It's on Steam. A interesting little puzzle game that you sort of build a board of plants, and you're trying to upgrade the plants. And it's sort of a matching game, so the developers have spent years developing the core puzzle game to be accessible and relaxing, and it is pretty relaxing. It's not a fast-paced, timer-frenetic sort of one. Very deep and strategic. On a basic level, you combine plants on a board to create more valuable items and grow your garden within a turn limit. The game holds a lot of secrets though, and most players will spend months mastering the strategies required to get a great score, and the portion of the game also has a leaderboard, and I think I'm in the 6,000 region, so I'm still going up. I was in the 8,000s a couple of days ago, so yeah, practice makes perfect, I guess.
It does. It sounds quite good, actually. Yeah, it sounds really interesting. It's a nice idea.
Yes, I got it from the Humble Bundle, if you know what that is. The Humble Bundle, yep.
I have no idea. The Humble Bundle, I like that.
Yeah, it's also on Steam, so go and check that out. And Chris, what is your Media of the Week?
My Media of the Week this week is a Netflix series called The Haunting of Hill House. So The Haunting of Hill House was released in 2018, apparently. I thought it was brand new, but it's not. And it's about a haunting in a house called Hill House, if the name didn't give that away.
Never would have.
It's very good. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. It's made that much of an impact on me. And it's very, very frightful at times. And, you do pull the covers up above your head and fear everything. But, it's great. Yeah, check it out. It's noteworthy. Very noteworthy.
And again, link will be in the show notes.
Yeah.
Right, into the news before we get into Santiago. This one coming from Jake Kilshaw, E-Racing 365. And Dorna Sports have revealed the entry list for the next season of Moto E. So 18 riders. The field will be the same size. And a couple of new names, but also the championship protagonists from last season will be returning. Yes, Matteo Ferrari, the only winning Ferrari for a while, is back. Returns to Trento Grissini. Runner-up Bradley Smith will be there. Eric Granado also coming back, it is believed, with Avinta Esponsorama Racing. Six newcomers will join the grid, including Jordi Torres, Dominque Agurta, along with Tech 3 E-Racing's Tommaso Marcon and Lucas Tulovic. So, quite a few new names. Hector Garzo won't be returning, as he has graduated to Moto 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, Moto E, Moto 3 sort of seen on a similar level, so it's good that the series has promoted one of the standout riders.
Yeah, it's very good to hear. Very good to hear.
Very happy to see that the grid hasn't decreased and that we are seeing some quality new drivers coming in. And we'll see if Matteo Ferrari can, follow up on his maiden championship.
Yeah, it'll be good to see it go into its second season now. The first one was good from what I saw of it. Very exciting racing, and obviously very manageable racing as well. Very, very short. Yeah, looking forward to that. It'll be really good. See if my pick Bradley Smith can get back in there.
Yeah, Bradley Smith. I do really like Hector Garzo, but obviously moving on. So Eric Granado this time. Yeah, let's go.
Eric Granado. There we go. A classic duel, I'm sure.
It will be
great.
Oh, it'll be brilliant. Yes,
it will be great. I can't wait. It'll be good.
This next one, ecoGP. Also out of Jake Kilshaw from E Racing 365, putting out quite a bit of news here. I had never heard of ecoGP before I had read this.
Yeah, I haven't. So
it is a 24-hour race, and they've had a few before. Electric, obviously, as we mainly only cover electric racing. So they've done a couple, the 24 hours of Oosterblend, held twice winter 2018 and 2019. So last November's race had a Model S, Model 3s, but because it's a 24-hour race with charging and, all of the traffic that you would have to get through, and you have to be alert, and half the race is actually finishing those. And second went to a Kia e-Soul, and a Renault Zoe got third. So much less powerful than the Model 3. So I mean, I would love to have a Model 3 or something like that racing against the Zoes and just to have a different sort of set of cars.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and find those and link them in the show notes because it sounds like a really cool series that, hopefully will continue.
I have heard of this, come to think of it. I saw something online. It might have been from E Racing 365. I'm not sure. I remember seeing a 24-hour race with all-electric production cars, and there being a very random result behind it. And that might be it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That might be it. It fits the criteria. It fits the bill.
There's plans for the FIA to evaluate the regulations for an updated series in 2022. So we will be waiting a wee while, but let's hope that continues.
That'll be good. Very good.
This next piece of news from Bethany Waring, justelectric.org. It's been covered by pretty much everyone, and I'm very happy that Alex Lynn has returned to Jaguar as their test and reserve driver.
Yeah, good news.
Obviously, James Collado has done very well in his opening 3 races, 2 venues. And I think, it's going to be good to have Lynn back on the team. And he'll just be slotting back in quite easily, I would say. So, Chris, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's good news that Alex is back. Obviously, a very talented driver, and one that's been very good in recent years. The thing is, he's always struggled with, consistently being on the grid. I'd be quite insulted if I was Alex Lynn. He lost his drive to DS in DS Virgin at the end of Season 4. Didn't have a full-time drive for Season 5. Replaced Nelson Piquet Jr., thank God, at Jaguar halfway through Season 5. And did a very good job, almost got 2 podiums with them. And then was let go in favour of James Collado, and now they've turned around and said, Alex, you know how you used to drive for us? Do you fancy being our reserve driver? What? It's a little bit of an insult, isn't it? It's going, we did bring you in and you did a good job. You almost got podiums for us, but, we don't think you're good enough for a full-time drive. But months after we get rid of you, we're going to offer you a reserve drive to help develop our Season 7 car.
Well, I think he is available to talk to other teams. So if I was Neo, I would be, hello, how's it going, Alex? Would you like to drive the car? Straight away. And yeah, we don't need to talk about Neo, which we will very shortly, because Turvey, what a monster. And yeah, legend. I think he probably, if he's a reserve driver doing all the testing and all the development, he'll have the understanding of what the new car is going to be, and probably would be more attractive to potential suitors. So you never know.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. It is. If he wants to go back into Formula E, which I hope he does, he's in the right place for it, isn't he? Jaguar, a distinguished team. If he's helping develop their car for next season already, he'll be a fountain of information to all other teams as well.
He will be.
So he'll be a very good asset. And he remains current as well.
Exactly.
He remains current in Formula E and he's still up to date. So it's very important.
It is. So it's good news. It's good news that he's back, and we will follow his progress.
Yes, very eagerly.
Now, let's get into the Santiago E-Prix. What a race. Firstly, qualifying in Superpole. We had Sebastian Buemi, Oliver Turvey, Massa, Gunther, Verline, and Mitch Evans. This one, I did have a feeling that Evans and Verline especially, because they were in Q3, because the track evolution was there, that they would really be able to capitalise on that. Sebastian Buemi, obviously, it's almost a given that he'll be in Superpole these days. Oliver Turvey, though, the absolute standout, made a bit easier by being in Q4, but we see a Neo car struggling, and he manages to put it fifth into Superpole. What a performance.
It is incredible, isn't it? And Oliver Turvey continues to be, without a doubt, the most underrated driver on the Formula E grid. It's incredible. I mean, the present Neo 333 squad, they're using last season's Dragon powertrain, the Penske EV3. It wasn't the quickest powertrain in the world, was it? It wasn't the quickest car. And they're using outdated machinery, essentially. It's 12 months old, well, older than that now. And he still continues to deliver, does Oliver Turvey. He deserves to drive for the top team, doesn't he? He could wreak havoc in a good car. He could cause mayhem in a good car, could Oliver Turvey.
Yeah.
And he's stuck in the backmarker team. I know it's a couple of tenths, but they are the backmarker team. And it's sad to see, but it puts him in the shop window, doesn't it? It's perfect.
If Jaguar had thought about it instead of Collado, because getting Collado in, rookie, and he's not struggling, but I don't think he's capitalising on as many points as he could have. It's obviously not allowing Jaguar to get further up the Constructors' Championship, as if they had someone like Turvey, I believe anyway. And yeah, the Jaguar's a decent car. Mitch Evans putting it on pole.
Yeah, Mitch is, it was.
That was a great lap. He got a bit squirrely, but he managed to do the job. 2 tenths over Maxi Gunther.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a very good performance from Mitch. Like you said, as soon as I saw him in Group 3 as well, I knew that he would be up there, especially with the track evolution in Santiago. He was my pick for pole, actually. I predicted Mitch would get pole successfully, which is always satisfying. Because I usually put Buemi. But speaking of which, Seb Buemi was nowhere in Superpole. He was slower than the unfortunate Oliver Turvey with his little crap powertrain.
Yeah.
Almost a full second off.
Yeah, I don't quite remember what happened to Buemi. As I think it was 3 a.m. For me to watch qualifying, so that didn't happen. But obviously the highlights are great. Okay, did anything else stand out to you about qualifying? Shall we talk quickly about the unfortunate Oliver Rowland incident?
Yes, but beforehand, I would like to give a special shout out to a certain Swiss-Italian driver called Edoardo Mortara, because Edo Mortara put in an absolute stonker of a lap, but didn't make it into Superpole. So, did you see this?
Yes, yeah.
In Group 2, Edo Mortara was driving along, and he had Robin Freins in front of him. And Freins had this almighty spin, full 360 through turns 1 and 2, caught it and continued, and Mortara was directly behind him, almost got caught up in an accident, slammed his brakes on, lost at least half a second to a second, and still went on to set the fastest time of Group 2. And he qualified. Yeah, he qualified in 7th, and he was only pushed out by, I think it was Oliver Turvey. But what a lap! The pace that he showed was incredible. It was so incredible.
Yeah, you've got to really look at it with Nick de Vries in 8th, who was slower than that, and also in Q4.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It was... it was just a good lap, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, he must have full attack in the final part of that lap, because, wow.
He's really come into his own this season, and he's really going for it. The Venturi with the Mercedes powertrain, it does look like a bit of a weapon that hasn't really been fully capitalized on by Venturi at the moment, but it does look very, very good.
Yeah, exactly. It's a quick car, and it's a pacey car as that Venturi, and it's going to be exciting to see what Felipe Massa and Edoardo Mortara can do later this season.
Yeah, I mean, Felipe making it into Superpole, so yeah, another good showing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's certainly looking positive, especially over one lap.
Yes, yeah, especially over one lap.
But Oliver Rowland, eh?
Yes, Oliver Rowland coming unstuck, and also compromising Lucas de Grassi.
Yeah, he had quite a whack, didn't he? Did Oliver Rowland? He crashed in turn 4, turn 5. I want to say, lit the debris across through turns 6 and 7, and then Lucas de Grassi went whizzing through, continued, blamed the stewards for not waving the red flag, and then spun on his own accord.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I feel like after you see something like that, I think I'd be compromised.
Yeah, I'd be compromised, but when you throw your own lap away a few corners later...
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
It's a Lucas de Grassi thing, isn't it? Complain about this, complain about that.
Yeah, Audi has had a slow start, but let's move into the race. A great race. I mean, Formula E it always delivers. Santiago, I'm hoping it'll be back on the calendar sometime soon. We're not going to see it next season as the contract is up, but let's hope it doesn't move anywhere else, because this is it was a stonker of a race. Great track.
Yeah, it was good. Very good. Season 5 one, not so good, but with the changes that they made for last weekend's race, it delivered probably arguably a classic, I would say. Arguably a classic.
Into the race. Few talking points. Firstly, I want to just touch on Vern holding his teammate up, and then also trying to scrape it into the wall, and successfully doing so, getting debris all over the track. And I've got to say, I'm pretty disappointed in Vern here, because he was going well until that, fighting through, and I mean, he had a bit of damage, but yeah, a very slow start for the championship leader, who came away with nothing from this race. What is going on there when he tries to continue?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, he picked up the damage early on in the race, from what has been said, and then it just the front left bodywork came undone towards the end of the race, started scraping along, and he just tried to bump it off on the walls, didn't he? It's, bearing in mind he is a double champion, it is disappointing to see that he didn't have any care at all for potentially causing an accident by littering debris across the track. But at the same time, the FIA didn't pick up on the damage and give him the black and white flag to say, you must get this repaired.
No, they didn't, did they?
No, they didn't. So there was nothing on that side. So that's a disappointment as well. But then at the same time, if you're Jean-Eric Vergne, you haven't been given that flag, but this part is disrupting your race, and you know that you have the pace to be on the podium after the shocking start you've had. If I was Vergne, I would have done the same, unfortunately, and I hate to say that.
Oh. Well, I think less of you, Chris. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I honestly would have done the same. And I mean, he is the number one driver at DS Techeetah. It's his team. Yeah.
In the same sort of instance, he had his teammate right behind him. So if he loses it with the damage and takes his teammate out, and potentially he also just caused Da Costa more heat on Da Costa's battery, and, you know, it took time to get past Vergne, which he could have used fighting Gunther. So he compromised their points and their race. So
he did, yes.
I mean, yeah, with the heat and everything, and in the car, you might not think of all of these things, but the outcome was that it impacted Techeetah and their points overall. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I'm going to say it. I'm surprised Da Costa didn't crash into him as well.
Me
because
too.
Da Costa seemed to hit everybody in that race. I'm just going to put it out there. Team orders are something that teams should look into, in all honesty. Because we saw the Mercedes guys battling each other when, you know, it could have potentially gone wrong. The Techeetah guys going at it with each other could have gone wrong. The Venturi guys doing the same.
Did go a little bit wrong.
Did go a little bit wrong. And yeah, I think a few teams on the grid could be a little bit more clever with what they're doing, you know, really deploy those team orders and going, no, you let it would benefit them in the long run as well. But at the same time, we love to see a bit of wheel-to-wheel racing, don't we?
We do.
So,
I do get a bit nervous when it's teammates, though.
yeah, it's always a bit panicky, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So just on Venturi, Massa with attack mode, not let through by Mortara, and then Mortara with attack mode. It just went all wrong with Mortara trying to get up the inside of Massa and almost putting Massa into the wall. I think his hands got bumped off the steering wheel as he got a bit of a nudge from Mortara.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to say that the team orders could be looked at, and there was plenty of opportunity to overtake with attack mode, especially around the outside. Is it turn 10 around the outside? That was probably the best.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the thing is, it was an impatient overtake from Mortara as well. If he had bided his time, like he was in turn 10 at the time when he did the overtake. All he had to do was navigate 10 and 11, lose a little bit of time behind Massa, but ultimately he could have overtaken easily on the straight because of the power advantage he had with attack mode.
And it did look like a big advantage this race.
Yeah, exactly. It was a huge advantage this race was attack mode. And by dive bombing Massa, pushing him out wide, he lost time himself, and he pushed his team. Massa again lost 2 places because of it. The 2 Techeetah cars went down. And if you look at that one incident, if Mortara had bided his time and passed in a more sensible place, you could arguably say that Venturi's entire race would have been different. It would have been a different outcome, potentially.
Yeah.
All hinging on that one incident. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is unfortunate, but I'm sure that they'll look at that internally, and we might not see that again. I'm sure Susie's on the case.
Yeah, she will be. Get going. Organise that team.
Yeah, the Merc guys, they seem to go backwards a little at the start, but obviously we're waiting for things up the front to happen, and boy did they happen. Stoffel leads the championship by 3 points over Alexander Sims, and De Vries, a stellar drive, would have had a podium if not for the technical infringement, which was coolant too cool, or too low in temperature. Too cool.
Too cool.
I was listening to a rival podcast who gets theirs out a lot quicker than we do, and they were saying that De Vries,
they have less technical problems.
They have less technical problems, and they were there at the race. Probably could just sit down somewhere and record it. But anyway, they were saying that De Vries said, sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes the team makes mistakes. It's just part of it. So he's a very humble young man, and the podiums and wins will come, I feel, in Formula E. So Merck picked up some good points, still up there in the team's championship, and Stoffel, leading Formula E after the third round.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about consistency, isn't it? I mean, Stoffel is now the only driver to have scored in every race this season.
You're joking.
And we're only 3 races in. Yeah. The other ones who had finished double points in Diriyah were Sims,
yes,
who obviously retired, Roland, who just cocked up massively in the race, and Mortara, who was binned by Da Costa. So Stoffel Vandoorne is now the only driver who's got a 100% record this season. And that has shown he is top of the Drivers' Championship, and it just reinforces that the most consistent driver will win this season. Yeah, so it's been good going for Mercedes, very consistent.
Yeah, we probably say it every week that consistency is key. Stoffel showing, at the moment he's doing what needs to be done.
He is, yeah.
Especially with Mercedes' first season. It's a real testament to those guys. They have had a season with HWA to get it all under the table and sorted, but it really has been a strong showing from them, and it just, compared to Porsche, who haven't had the year, and they look a bit lost right now, we are seeing some title contenders emerge.
Yeah, it does show, doesn't it? You can call it Mercedes, like the debut year, the inaugural season for them, but they did have that tester year with HWA, didn't they? And it has really shown. Comparing Porsche to Mercedes, it's kind of, I mean, especially in Santiago, it was a different league. And, I mean, obviously both teams have very capable drivers. We'll see what Neil Shani does. But yeah, it was a different league in Santiago, wasn't it? Porsche weren't even in the ballpark compared to Mercedes, and that really did show in the race. And I mean, Porsche, just going back to it, dropping the ball, like getting GCSE stuff wrong. So at the weekend, Porsche were fined €5,000 for failing to adhere to safety standards when dealing with the battery. So one of their engineers wasn't even using the right protective gloves or any at all.
Oh.
And yeah, it's GCSE stuff that they're getting wrong, to be honest. So that's one thing alone. It just comes with experience, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, and absolutely.
It will come and they will grow, but it was a hard weekend for Porsche, really hard.
Yeah, it did look that way, but Lotterer doing a lot better than Gianni. Well, yeah, no one got any points, but we will see. We will see how they go in Mexico.
It'll be an interesting one for them.
Okay, Da Costa and his battery temps. This one, he sort of sounded like he wasn't told the correct information on the battery temps. He thought he was going to be too high. The team was like, nope, you're fine. And he thought, I'm not going to be fine, but if they say that I'm fine, then I'm going to go for it. And absolutely rapid pace, and eventually pushed too hard to get up with Maximilian Gunther. He hates being called Maxi. And then the final lap, Da Costa had to slow down massively, Gunther around the outside, and yeah. So do you know what's gone on with those, whether the team just dropped the ball, didn't feed the right information, or what happened? Or
I mean, I don't know anything about the situation, but I have a feeling that it has to do with that little questionable pass that Antonio Felix da Costa made on Gunther. He really barged his way up the inside of turn 10, didn't he?
Yes, it was a bit late, locked up quite badly into Maximilian Gunther, and yeah, it's. I'm glad that Gunther won the race, because there would have been, I think there would have been an inquiry if that hadn't have happened.
Precisely. It was a very greedy overtake, wasn't it? I mean, at this point in the race, Antonio Felix da Costa has been behind Verne. He's been losing time. Verne's been driving like a total hooligan. And now he's gone, right, I'm in P3 or P2, wherever Verne was. I need to close up. He passes Evans with ease, and he guns it for Gunther. Very easy to overconsume in those circumstances if you are really hungry for that win. And it was DS Automobiles' 50th E-Prix as well. So, a big landmark race for them. And he really went for it. He got a bit greedy with Gunther, biffed him out of the way, as you do, like he did with everyone else in that race. It's a recurring theme here. And then did lose that position on the final lap. And I think there would have been an investigation after the race if he had won it. And I've got a feeling he let him past.
You reckon?
Yeah, I've got a feeling the team order came, and I think he might have slowed down, knowing, I've just, knocked him out of the way. A lot of people did struggle with the battery temps, though. I think Verline had an issue. Evans certainly had a multitude of issues with his drag.
Yeah, I mean, it was close at the end of the day, and if da Costa did get a penalty, then it would have dropped him way off the podium. Let's have a look. Precisely. It would have been, down sort of, it would have been behind Verline, yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Potentially. It's a good theory.
Well, I guess we'll never know, really.
No.
But, safety first, consistency wins championships.
It does.
Thanks for points.
It does. But it went to Maximilian Gunther, and I don't think there is one Formula E fan out there that can really be sad or be gutted for this man, because what a race. I mean, what a drive. 22 years old, youngest on the grid. He's new to BMW, new team, got dropped from Dragon, who should have kept him,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taken the seat of Antonio and delivers, I mean, the smile was so massive on his face. It was just a joy to see. And I was watching the race, sitting in bed with my laptop, and I was just ecstatic.
It was fantastic, wasn't it? And the thing is, this race meant so much to him. He, when he was up there in that position, I think he knew that he had to deliver some kind of fantastic performance. And the thing is, this race wasn't just a race. It was a fight against his personal experiences and his professional experiences as well. It was 12 months on from his dropping from Dragon, or momentary dropping from Dragon. And, he proved all of those doubters wrong in that camp. Took the place of da Costa at BMW. That fantastic opportunity is a BMW factory driver and as a German racer as well. And it was a low-key start in Diriyah, not what he wanted. And what stronger message is there to become Formula E's youngest ever race winner, racing at the circuit that was, your last E-Prix for Dragon, and then beating the driver who used to have your seat. Nothing asserts his position more in that team, does it? It sends such a strong message. Like, yes, you have backed the right pony here, guys. 'Tis I. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, he's definitely the man to put the money on. And I mean, for BMW, it is absolutely brilliant. I mean, a German driver in a German car winning. And I mean, you can't get much more publicity than that on the BMW side. And Roger Griffiths, I mean, I love that man. He's just a joy to watch, and he's so happy right now.
He was ecstatic, wasn't he? Clapping that. Oh, it was brilliant. It was such a good win. And no one can be annoyed about the result.
No one can be. Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Right, so let's run down the points. Maximilian Gunther, 25. Antonio Felix da Costa, Evans, Verline, De Vries, Van Dorn, Lucas Di Grassi, James Collado, after a poor qualifying, scraping into the points again, Felipe Massa and Sam Bird rounding out the top 10. Some names there that... I mean, Collado, he just seems to be moving through the pack and keeping clean and getting points, so good from the Jaguar driver. Bird, Q1, always going to be hard. Good to get a couple points. He also got the fastest lap. So, yeah, the car's good. Bird's great, but let's hope qualifying helps them out in the next few races.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in this race, Group 1 really did harm drivers, didn't it? We had Di Grassi starting from 22nd, 21st, something like that. Bird all the way down. It was tough. Sims. Van Dorn did all right, though. There you go.
Yeah.
And it was really, really tricky as well. And, we really did see them come through the pack as well. I mean, Bird started P16 and had 2 spins in that race as well, so that's a good going. Collado, like he said, started P18 and just kept his nose clean, really, and got through there. But mind you, Lucas Di Grassi started 22nd, finished P7. That's a hell of a drive.
It is, yeah.
And his experience did show. He just quietly made his way through the pack, and I know there was a lot of penalties, a lot of crashes, but it's good going.
Yeah. Alrighty, the driver standings. Stoffel Van Dorn, 38. Alexander Sims drops back to second with 35. Sam Bird up to 28 points in third. The Bird is third. Maximilian Gunther, 25 points, moves up into fourth place. Di Grassi, 24. I mean, you get one win and then you're fourth in the championship after 3 races.
Yeah, exactly.
Oliver Rowland in 6th with 22, 21 for Da Costa now. Evans in 8th, also 21. And then 18 points for Lotterer, Mortara and De Vries, all in 9, 10, 11. And then we move down to 12 points with Then we move down to 12 points with Pascal Verline. 10 for Robin Frines and James Collado. Daniel Abt on 8 points. He is struggling massively this season. I'm not sure why. And also Jean-Eric Verne, only 4 points. 2 points for D'Ambrosio and Hartley, and Muller, Turvey, Yanni and Ma on 0. And in the teams championship, BMW 60 points, Mercedes just behind them on 56, and then Virgin all the way down on 38 points, 32 for Audi, Jaguar 31, 25 for DS Techeetah, 22 for Nissan, Venturi on 20, which doesn't really tell the whole story of Venturi, Porsche on 18, Mahindra on 14, Geox Dragon on 2, and Neo still on 0. And after that, driver of the day. Chris, who have you got?
Oh, it's a hard call, isn't it? It's got to be between Max Gunther and Lucas Di Grassi, in my eyes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's between the two of them. I mean, Gunther, because Gunther, what a win. And, oh, God, the nerves to overtake with 3 corners to go, huh?
Absolutely.
That's good. Yeah. And then just Lucas Di Grassi for being Lucas Di Grassi, being clean and just getting his way up to P7 after being dealt a dire hand in qualifying.
It was a pretty dire hand, and for the same reason, Collado. I'm going to go with Collado and Gunther. Gunther for all of the reasons expressed, and James Collado moving through the pack, keeping clean, getting some good experience under his belt instead of, being in the wall or something. And he's really come a long way, so he is driver of the day.
Yeah, it's a noteworthy one. It's a good choice.
And finally, thank you to Huzu Graphics on Twitter for doing the amazing episode artwork. I'll put the link in the show notes. His link is in the show notes, and also his work can be seen on our website, regenracingpodcast.com, and on Instagram. You can also talk to us on hello@regenracingpodcast.com and on Twitter @regenracing. So, Chris, any final thoughts?
Ooh, yes. The Mexico City E-Prix circuit has apparently been tweaked and altered.
Excellent. No more chicanes.
No more chicanes, but 4 more corners, apparently. Don't know what they look like yet, but we will find out.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that. Because
News.
Chicanes, obviously last season, Nelson Piquet Jr. over the top of Verne and tagging Sims. Probably one of the standout crashes of the year.
Yeah. Piquet airborne. Oh.
Glad we're not going to see that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It was a nasty shunt, was that?
It was.
And chicanes in general, just stupid the way Formula E are doing them, quite frankly. And especially in Bern. Flipping heck.
Yes.
What was that about?
Yeah. Yep.
That's a good idea.
Yes, let's not reminisce about that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for keeping with us. We look forward to bringing you more. And also check out Regen Charge Point on Medium, doing some scribbles on there. All right, we will talk to you again soon.
Yes, we'll catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Vintia. Sorry.
Arguably a classic. That's so going at the end.
Yeah, arguably a classic.